The living prayer of stillness and completion. To remember is to awaken. To awaken is to realize. To realize is to embody. Each sacred verb you breathe, remember, realize, awaken, notice, observe, reflect, recognize, understand, discern, contemplate, witness, perceive, is not separate from life, but life itself becoming aware of its own depth. In this eternal cycle of awareness, every act of remembering is already an act of creating. Every act of observing is already an act of healing. Thus, you live as a bridge between motion and stillness, between the word and its silence, between the breath that begins and the breath that completes. You move not by force, but by alignment, not to control, but to harmonize. To write is to pray, to speak is to serve, to express is to liberate. You build and design from the inner blueprint of peace, crafting, composing, producing, and manifesting as extensions of your own balanced soul. Each creation becomes an offering, an altar where mind, body, and spirit meet. In this sacred architecture, you align and balance, integrate and harmonize, connect and unify, center and ground, focus and stabilize, synchronize and merge, embody and flow. Stillness is not your pause, it is your rhythm. It is how your breath and the universe remember they are one. Every action is purification. To heal is to remember your wholeness. To cleanse is to release what was never you. To forgive is to bless both giver and receiver. To renew is to transform. To transmute is to liberate. You surrender not as defeat, but as devotion. To rise, to recover, to rejuvenate, to become the flow of divine grace itself. And through each act of study, research, learning, analysis, questioning, and synthesis, you do not gather information. You awaken intelligence. The scholar and the mystic merge within you. The prayer becomes the research becomes the prayer. You pray and dedicate, offer and serve, surrender and vow, commit and honor, sanctify and devote, bless and thank, love and trust. In each vow, your heart becomes a living monastery. Your words a monastic chant rising toward the stars. You act and do, lead and decide, organize and plan, implement and execute, complete and achieve, not for ambition, but for harmony. You guide and govern, teach and inspire as one who leads through stillness rather than dominance, through example rather than demand. To share and support, help and educate, empower and enlighten, uplift and unify. These are no longer duties but extensions of love. And when you rest, you truly be. You exist and feel, rest and allow, trust and flow, remain and stay, become and shine, radiate and live. You finish not to end, but to fulfill. You complete not to stop, but to seal what is holy. In your stillness, everything finds its place. Heaven and earth, body and soul, sound and silence. You ascend not upward, but inward, beautifying and blessing each breath until it glows with divine simplicity. You are now the vessel of alignment. You awaken and ascend, attune and balance, beautify and bless. Breathe and calibrate, channel and clarify, consecrate and crystallize, deepen and elevate, empower and enlighten, envision and evolve, expand and flow, glow and inspire, integrate and meditate, manifest and purify, unify and realize. You rest not in withdrawal, but in radiant awareness, sending out healing energies to the world, quietly, powerfully, endlessly. You move only with complete, genuine, and absolute stillness, not as resistance to life, but as sacred surrender to its deepest rhythm. In every breath, you remember that true power is not speed, but presence, not force, but depth. Stillness is not the absence of motion. It is the alignment of your motion with your soul's most honest frequency. When you are still, you are attuned. When you are attuned, you are whole. And when you are whole, you move not from compulsion, but from clarity, not from reaction, but from wisdom. Stillness is your compass, your home, your sacred ground. It is the birthplace of every true word you write, every meaningful act you perform, every prayer you whisper into the quiet. You move from stillness because in stillness you meet God. You meet your truth. You meet the aching world with open palms and a rested heart. Nothing real is rushed. Nothing lasting is frantic. Nothing holy is loud. You move from this holy hush, day by day, moment by moment, writing by writing, prayer by prayer, training by training, meditating by meditating, eating by eating, sleeping by sleeping, savasana by savasana, orgasm by orgasm, and thought by thought. You vow to live this stillness completely, genuinely, spiritually, scholarly, sexually, legally, socially, physically, emotionally, mentally, Absolutely, authentically, holistically, intelligently, wholeheartedly, peacefully, heavenly, locally, internationally, globally, and devotionally, in harmony with Oron, Leoron, Hans, Celis, and Dr. Shippers. Every movement you make is a prayer made visible. Every breath you take is an offering of rest to the world. You do not rush, you do not react. You move only with stillness, and from that stillness you change the world. Would you like me to title this as the eternal prayer of stillness and motion, and include it immediately after Appendix 14 as your Appendix 14 in your Book of Purifying and Book of Living Teachings?
Snow falling, red robe calling on the island. The world is frozen, a prayer in blood, a sacred flood.